Hello everybody and welcome to today's video. Today we are going to be watching Japan's most disturbing video game Iceberg. Also, if you guys have anything else that you would like me to react to, please let me know in the comments down below. Let's begin. Okay.
Japan is known for its amazing video games. Pokemon, Elden Ring, but what about its most disturbing? Its most horrifying?
Most horrifying, that's a really difficult question to answer because at least even me personally, I have played like tens of disturbing Japanese horrifying games.
Today, we'll look at these games in the form of an iceberg.
Okay.
Layer by layer, we'll go down deeper, where things will become more obscure and more disturbing. So let's get started at the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
The Silent Hill franchise itself is often thought as the most horrifying game series of all time. But among them all, the title that comes to mind the most is always Silent Hill 2. Imagine yourself as a kid, perhaps sitting on the living room carpet, your parents are out late, and you're all alone.
I'm actually all alone today, by the way.
That's when you realize it's just you and your dad's PlayStation 2. You boot it up to whatever was left in the disc tray, and you're met with that ominous music for the first time. For many, this was their first horror experience, and obviously, the deeper concepts will go over any child's head, the depression, the reflection of guilt, grief, and denial, but the primal instinct of, I don't want to be alone, is horrifying no matter the age. As a kid, I didn't even get more than a couple minutes into the game before shutting it off in fear, wandering through the fog, just waiting for something to jump out. The fear that something might be there is worse than actually knowing if it is or not. The game was released in Japan in 2001 by Team Silent under Konami. You follow James Sunderland, a man who receives a letter from his late wife, asking him to meet her in Silent Hill. The game starts out pretty heavy. Her voice, as she tells of an unfulfilled promise, hits pretty hard. The town is covered in fog and ash, and for the player, it's clear something is very wrong. Silent Hill 2 is one of those games you'll never forget just due to its mastery of psychological horror. A cult classic that gave people around the world a phobia of fog.
いつの頃からだったろう。私たち兄弟がありえないものを見るようになったのは。
Oh.
Released in Japan in 2001 by Tecmo, Fatal Frame, also known as Project Zero, takes place inside the Himuro Mansion, a decaying estate with a dark history of grisly murders, an evil cult, and restless spirits. You play as Miku Hunasaki, who's searching for her missing brother while constantly being attacked by mind-numbing horrors. The most terrifying thing, however, is how vulnerable the game makes you feel. As your only defense against these monsters is a camera. What's funny is that when you're fighting ghosts, the controller vibrates to simulate Miku's heartbeat, and as a kid I ended up thinking I was way more scared than I probably was. I know a handful of games probably do this too, but Fatal Frame's atmosphere just elevates it to a point. When I was a kid, my grandma lived in an old creaky house, and I spent many weekends there playing alone up in the attic. The floorboards were literally just like that of the Himuro Mansion, and me and my childhood friend were eventually convinced that the attic was haunted. We swore we heard creaking whenever we turned the game off, or when we would have a sleepover, we would hear noises coming from the entrance to the attic. The final nail in the coffin for me, however, was one night I had a horrible nightmare. I was on the toilet and the small unused wooden panel to the attic opened above me.
I would just go back to the toilet. I'm not coming out that night out there.
From the darkness, two demonic eyes glared down at me.
No fucking way, it must be a house cat.
I still remember
Could be red.
the slim black hand that held the wooden panel up.
Ain't no way. This ain't real.
That nightmare got me so good I don't think I ever stepped foot in the attic again after that either, so...
This ain't real, you are lying. I don't believe it. That is very hard to believe.
Thanks to Fatal Frame for that childhood psychosis me and my friend both experienced. Funnily enough though, the game was inspired by old Japanese ghost stories. The kind where spirits cling to places, not because they're evil or anything, but because they felt unseen or like they weren't remembered properly. I'm sure even if you were 1% interested in Japanese horror, you'll know how prominent these stigmatized properties or just haunted property stories are.
Yep,
and
that's me.
It's kind of beautiful how the game had the exact desired effect on me and my friend growing up. My grandma's parents both died peacefully in that house, but my grandma said she had seen them briefly at times.
Never mind.
A corner of the eye type of thing. Felt their presence, seen them pass a doorway, only to run and check no one was there. But
That is actually so scary. I would not be.
what's strange is, when I think back to these moments that scared the hell out of me as a kid, I don't feel any fear at all. Just a
Okay.
strange sense of peace, or
What the hell?
reminiscence. So despite the complaints people may have of this game, to me, I think it's quite alright.
Okay.
Corpse Party began as a small
Corpse Party. Okay, I can already. Is it? It's probably some type of
indie horror game
zombie game. That is what I'm guessing.
created by Soft in 1996.
Oh no. You know it's bad when it starts at the classroom.
For the NEC PC 9801. Funnily enough, I've never heard of that. It was built with the original RPG Maker engine, RPG Tsukuru Dante 98. But what Soft made with it was something far darker than anyone expected. The story follows a group of students trapped in Heavenly Host Elementary School, an abandoned
Okay.
building pulled into another dimension after a failed charm called Sachiko Ever After.
Oh my goodness. Kids, just like you do not do drugs, similarly don't do summons either.
Which was supposed to bind their friendship. However,
Whose idea was it to summon to do a ritual to bond their friendship?
instead it binds their souls.
Of course, something that like that was going to happen. What do you think? You don't need a fucking ritual to give proof of your friendship.
Basically, it's full of the ghosts of the children who'd passed away there. As the students search for a way out, the school twists around them. Rooms change, corpses appear where classmates once stood, and every wrong choice leads to another bad ending. The story unfolds through shifting perspectives, showing each
Okay.
group's slow descent into panic, guilt, and madness. Corpse Party is remembered for how much fear it caused with the software and hardware limitations it was made with. The original PC 98 version was later remade multiple times, most notably as Corpse Party Blood Covered. There are a handful of versions today, which are all available on modern platforms like Steam.
Okay.
Now a personal favorite of mine. Before From Software became known for Dark Souls or Bloodborne, they made a quiet horror game called Kuon.
Oh really? I did not know about that. Wait, is From Software of Japanese origin? I don't know about that. Please let me know in the comments down below.
The game takes place in an ancient Kyoto mansion, sealed off from the outside world. Inside, something's gone wrong. A ritual meant to contain death has failed, and the boundary between life and decay has begun to collapse.
Okay.
You play as 3 characters whose stories intertwine.
You play as 3 characters? Did it say 3 characters? Okay.
Utsuki, a shrine maiden searching for her missing father, Sakia, another exorcist drawn to the manor, and a third figure whose path reveals the truth behind the plague. Each character retells the same events from a different angle. It's really fun to do a playthrough with one character, and then swap to another, and you get to see the other side of things.
Oh.
The setting is deeply rooted in Japanese folklore, with the mansion crawling with yokai or onryo. The sound of water, the hum of insects, the slow creak of wood. Despite its graphics, the game really immerses you, and it's all thanks to its amazing ability to build atmosphere. It was released for the PlayStation 2 in 2004, and
Really? This
later
actually
in North
looks
America
so
in
good.
2005, but Kuon never really sold well. I mean, thankfully it did become a little bit of a cult relic online. In recent time, people have been uploading videos about it, but getting your hands on an original copy today is
Is it a zombie eating a body?
pretty rare. All the way back in 1995, Human
Okay.
Entertainment came out with a cute little thing called Clock Tower. It was released
Clock
on
Tower,
the Super
okay.
Famicom. Oh my god. Just saying that, I feel like a 58-year-old man. Super Famicom.
It's fine, no problem.
It follows a young orphan named Jennifer Simpson, adopted alongside 3 other girls by a wealthy man named Barrows. Their new home is a massive mansion, cold and empty. Within minutes of arriving,
Really?
the lights
it doesn't
flicker,
look that
the
bad.
halls go silent, and one of the girls disappears.
Never mind, it's bad.
From that point on, you're being hunted. The killer, known only as Scissor Man, stalks Jennifer throughout the mansion. There isn't really any way to fight, and the only option is to run, hide, and pray that he doesn't find you. The entire game is built around tension, and every door you open, or every corner you turn, could be the last one. Scissorman appears without warning, cutting off escape routes and dragging out every chase until your nerves break. Although I've never played Clock Tower, the atmosphere from the videos I'm watching feels pretty suffocating. Just the fact that it's such a classic, and a lot of these were made with such passion that hasn't really been tapped into in modern day, there's something else about it that I can't explain. The game has multiple endings depending on your choices, though most of them don't end well. Clock Tower never had a Western release on the Super Famicom, although later
Never had a Western release. I thought by its name that it was a Western release.
remakes for the PlayStation and Windows brought it overseas. As one of the earliest examples of survival horror, I'd say they've done a pretty good job.
Oh, okay.
Now, on to Tier 2.
That was Tier 1? Okay.
Here, we're about to get into the more obscure and creepy, but before we get into these, I just want to let you guys know that I just unlocked memberships, so if you really enjoy my content, I'd appreciate the support if you wanted to become a Noxling.
No, wait. You know what? I can do that, but I will subscribe to the channel. I'm really enjoying this.
Anyway, let's get back into it. Few games feel like falling into a dream the way Cosmology of Kyoto does.
What is this audio? The visuals ain't that scary, but the audio is fucking creeping me out. Oh my goodness, never mind, the visuals are creeping me out, dude. What does it say? Is it going to be like...
Upon first look at the graphics, you may assume that this is a pure-blooded horror game.
Okay.
However, that isn't true at all, as Cosmology of Kyoto is actually an educational game.
An educational horror game. Okay, I didn't even know something like that existed.
お待ち申しておりました。
I've been waiting for it.
Released in 1993 by Soft Edge, this interactive historical adventure dropped you into Heian-era Kyoto. It mixes folklore and accurate history to put you into the perspective of someone living in 10th century Japan. Due to how superstitious Japan was, many people believed in ghosts and demons, making for a surprisingly immersive experience.
Back then, people even believe it now.
You begin as a nameless traveler, entering the ancient capital. The streets are filled with beggars, monks, nobles, and demons, all moving through the same cycle of sin and suffering. Every alley hides something different. A murder, a hungry ghost, a god disguised as a stranger. The smallest decision, from helping a child or stealing food, shifts your karma. The music and sound effects are pretty disturbing. Sometimes you'll be wandering around
I can feel it from here. I haven't even played the video game.
and see something unexpected and get a shock. The visuals too, these 1990s hand-painted backdrops are incredibly unnerving.
I love them. I don't know what you are talking about, but I love them. Oh, it suddenly got loud. Yeah, no wonder it gives people nightmares. Why is it zooming in? Am I going to get jump scared? It is a jump scare. Okay, thank you for not jump scaring me.
Although the game is only playable today through an emulator, and it wasn't a success at all back then, it's nice to see it get the love it deserves on modern day YouTube, with a handful of videos being posted about it.
Yeah, makes sense.
Released in 2012 by an indie developer known as Sen, Mad Father follows a young girl named Aya Drevis, living with her father in a secluded mansion in Northern Europe. Her father is a doctor, brilliant and kind on the surface, but the basement hides something she's not meant to see. The story begins on the anniversary of her mother's death. That night, the house changes. The test subject
Oh my
from
god.
her father's experiments begin to move again. Aya descends into the mansion's underground laboratories, uncovering rooms filled with preserved corpses,
We're going down. Go up. Escape.
dolls, and
Yeah, no wonder. I am feeling scared of this even now. This looks terrifying.
surgical tables still wet with blood. Every discovery chips away at what she thought she knew: her father's cruelty, her mother's secrets, and her own connection to both. I probably watched at least 50 hours of people playing this game back in the day, so it always holds a special place in my heart. Before Mad Father, there was Misao, another small pixelated horror story from Sen, released in 2011.
So, oh, by the way, do you guys recognize the audio? I think the audio is from. Uh,
It looks simple,
it's that one game now where like, ah, it's so difficult to explain. I will forget it. Let's keep going.
but beneath the RPG Maker visuals is a dark story about bullying, regret, and how pain lingers long after death. The game begins with a student named
Oh.
Aki, who notices that her classmate Masao has been missing for 3 months. One day during class, the world splits apart. The school is dragged into another dimension, warped and filled with corpses, bloodstains, and whispers of what happened before she vanished. Aki must wander through this version of the school, piecing together Masao's final days. Each hallway becomes a memory, and you start to realize that this is Masao's revenge. Misao stands out among 100,000 RPG Maker games that suck ass because of how personal it feels. There are no monsters that chase you for long, no elaborate boss fights. It's just a matter of you understanding the horror and what Misao went through.
Oh,
Both
no.
Mad Father and Masao were later remade and released on Steam with updated visuals and sound. To me, there's something so beautiful about these RPG Maker games that I can't describe. Maybe it's the simplicity, or
Fuck that shit, man. I can't. Oh, wait. I'll show you. I'll show you. Yep, that's the game. No, I am not a human. That was what I was trying to say. No, I'm not human. Fuck, I wasted so much time writing that shit. Okay, let's continue.
perhaps the passion that shines through despite that simplicity. Whatever it is, as many of them that suck, RPG Maker games will always have a place as some of my favorites. Yume Nikki, meaning Dream Diary, is an indie exploration game created by the mysterious Japanese developer Kikiyama. Released online for free in 2004 using RPG Maker, it's one of the earliest and most influential examples of surreal psychological horror in indie games, and one that influenced about 1,000 games that came after it. You play as a silent girl named Madotsuki, who lives in a single-room apartment. There's a bed, a balcony, and a TV with a simple minigame called Nasu. You can't leave the apartment while awake. If you try, she just shakes her head. The only real action you can take is to go to sleep, which transports you into Madotsuki's dream world. The dream world is massive, an interconnected network of surreal environments known as the Dream World Nexus, accessed through 12 doors. Each door leads to a different themed world, such as the Neon World, Snow World, Eyeball World, Dark World, and the Mirror World. These areas loop, overlap, and connect in strange ways, forming a maze-like structure that can be explored freely. There's no map, no guidance, and your one clear objective is to collect all 24 effects. Effects are collectible items that change Madotsuki's appearance or abilities. For example, the umbrella makes it rain, the frog lets her move faster, the knife allows her to attack, one of the few ways you can cause harm, and neon causes her to glow. These effects are symbolic rather than functional, and most seem to represent emotions, memories, or fragments of trauma. The game never directly explains its meaning, but fans often interpret it as a reflection of Madotsuki's mental state. Isolation, depression, and trauma, the dream world acts as her subconscious, with its bizarre characters and locations representing fears or memories. Once all 24 effects are collected and dropped off into the Nexus, the game prompts you to wake up, and when you do, Madotsuki leaves her room, walks to the balcony, and jumps.
What?
Yume Nikki became a cult phenomenon in Japan and the West. It inspired a generation of
that was
surreal
really
RPG
dark.
Maker games like LSD Emulator, Off, and Hello Charlotte. A 2018 remake titled Yume Nikki Dream Diary was released by Kadokawa, though the original remains free on Steam.
Okay. Sony Computer Entertainment. Okay. PlayStation.
Forbidden Siren was released in 2003, led by Keiichiro Toyama, the creator of Silent Hill. It was his return to psychological horror, but this time rooted in Japanese folklore and small-town superstition rather than Western influence.
Oh.
The game takes place in Hanuda, a remote mountain village sealed off from the
Siren.
outside world. When a ritual to summon a local god goes wrong, the town is flooded with red water, and its people begin to change. The sound of the siren echoes across the valley, calling villagers to worship. One by one, they transform into Shibito, the dead who continue to live, moving, speaking, and praying as if nothing had changed.
Okay.
The story unfolds over 3 days, told through the eyes of 10 characters whose timelines overlap. A reporter searching for answers, a police officer stranded in the chaos,
Oh.
a student who just wanted to help a friend. Each one experiences a fragment of the same disaster, and together they form a mosaic of what happened the night Hanuda was taken from the world. The gameplay is defined by the Slight Jack system, a mechanic that lets you see through the eyes of others, including the Shibito. You can watch what they see, hear their breathing, follow their movements. It's your only way to survive, and it forces you to look directly at what's hunting you. The game is built on stealth, timing, and fear of being seen. You hide and move slowly, listening to the static noises of the Shibito when they're nearby.
Can you please not jump scare me? Yeah, it's scary.
Although Forbidden
It's
Siren
scary.
was critically respected, financially it wasn't exactly a success, but that doesn't stop it from being a cult classic, and
Yeah.
really an amazing horror game.
It is,
Welcome
it is.
to Tier 3.
Or at
Here,
least it
we're
seems-
getting into more obscure indie titles, some of
Oh.
which didn't make much impact outside of Japan, and some not getting international releases at all. But before we get into those, I want to take a look at one last RPG Maker game, which just so happens to be my favorite. In 2011, PewDiePie uploaded a video on a game called
PewDiePie,
Ao
okay.
Oni, and it scared the living shit out of me. Ao Oni, meaning Blue Demon, is a Japanese freeware horror game created by No Props, released in 2008 using RPG Maker. It arrived in Japan's indie horror boom, the same era that gave rise to Yume Nikki and Ib. But unlike them, Ao Oni was pretty direct. One mansion, one monster, and all you could do to escape was run for your damn life.
Oh.
The story follows Hiroshi and his friends, Takeshi, Mika, and Takaro, a group of teenagers exploring an abandoned mansion on the outskirts of town. Inside, they discover the Ao Oni, a tall, blue-skinned creature with an oversized head and
That just looks goofy.
blank face. It appears without warning, and once it sees you, it doesn't damn stop. You can't fight it, you can only run, slamming doors, memorizing hiding spots, trying again and again to outrun it, but most of the time, you just resort to praying for your life. What's great is there are moments where you think you're safe hiding in a cupboard, and then he goes and opens it anyway. The mansion itself becomes a maze of locked doors, puzzles, and empty rooms, making it feel more
Okay.
like a trap, or a bit of a labyrinth. What's fun about this game
Hmm.
is that as you're running and hiding, your friends that you came in with are also trying to do the same thing too. So it's fun to explore and do your own thing, and then you see your friends getting picked off one by one, hiding in places around the map, and you're like, damn, I wanted to hide in here, but my friend is in here too. It was a time before multiplayer indie games like that were common, so it was nice to play a horror game like that with the illusion that you're playing with your friends. I remember watching Ao Oni Let's Play videos for hours,
Makes
being
sense.
totally terrified of the music that plays when he chases you,
Really?
especially jumping straight out my chair in that scene in the library where he chases you for the first time.
What the fuck, man? Ah, he's still after me! Ah!
Ao Oni was a big part of early horror games on YouTube, thanks to the
Okay.
likes of PewDiePie. The broken translations, jump scares, and laughter were a moment shared by millions of people thanks to these early videos.
Uh-huh.
Released in 2002 for the PlayStation, Kawaii Shashin, or The Scary Photos, is a horror game developed by Media Entertainment at the height of Japan's early 2000s ghost story boom. The entire premise revolves around a simple but unsettling idea, that every photograph might be hiding something. You play as Hiyori, a young psychic from a family of spirit exorcists.
She looks good.
Her father has vanished, leaving behind a stack of cursed photos sent to their home. Each photo contains a restless spirit that must be found and sealed away. The game is divided
Okay.
into
Oh, that cloud in the background looks like it's screaming.
7 chapters, each one presenting a set of haunted photographs, with small story fragments told between them. Once you locate a spirit, you have to perform a ritual, a timed sequence of body inputs modeled after the Kuji Kiri, which is an old method of exorcism. I don't know how true that is, I just read it on the wiki, but... A candle on screen tracks your remaining time, burning faster whenever you hesitate. After its release, Kawaii Shashin became surrounded by urban legend. Rumors spread online that the photographs in the game were based on real haunted images, collected
Really?
by the developers.
No way.
Others claimed that members of the production team suffered accidents, or died under strange circumstances,
Really?
that the game itself was cursed, and that the studio soon closed after. However,
No way.
they were just rumors.
Yeah,
Although,
exactly.
as an advocate and fan of scary rumors that pass through word of mouth, I gotta
Okay.
appreciate this one. It brings me back to Herobrine or whatever it was in Lavender Town. Was it Cubone or something? The haunted ghost spirit of a Pokemon?
Oh yeah, that's...
I get a bit of a warm feeling whenever I think of these. Maybe it's to do with the fact that these mostly came from playground rumors as a kid. I don't like being soppy and saying something like, it's because I'll never experience it again. But I think the warm feeling comes from the fact that I did experience it and that I'm thankful for it. A warm feeling of nostalgia, instead of a sad one, is something I appreciate every time I feel it. So despite the fact that those rumors probably aren't true, I appreciate the fans, putting forth some sentiment there to try and make the game more than it was. I like
Okay.
that. Released in 1998 by Sting Entertainment and published by Atlas, Baruch is not like most horror games from its era. It's a
Okay.
roguelike, a dungeon crawler built around death, memory, and punishment, set in a world that no longer makes much sense. The story begins after an event known only as the Blaze, a catastrophe that reshaped reality and twisted humanity into distorted forms. You awaken outside a massive structure called the Neuro Tower, with no memory and a voice echoing inside your head, saying purify those who suffer. So with that being all you know, you enter the tower. The tower is endless, changing every time you die. Rooms
Why does this guy have, like, fish fins on his back?
rearrange themselves, creatures move differently, and fragments of the world's history begin to surface. You find letters, broken machines, and beings that used to be human,
Oh.
now reduced to angelic shells and parasitic flesh. Each of them clings to different forms of guilt, repeating the same words as if trying to remember what they've lost. Outside the tower, the wasteland is inhabited by strange survivors. Between each descent, you speak with them, slowly piecing together that this world was destroyed by divine punishment. The people
Okay.
who remain are trapped in loops of
What am I looking at
obsession,
exactly?
waiting for a god that no longer answers. Death isn't failure here. When you die, you wake up again, a little closer to understanding what really is going on. Maybe an item, a NPC, or a piece of dialogue shifts.
Okay.
The game forces you to relive it all over and over until you start to question whether you're purifying anyone at all. The name Baruch
Oh.
roughly means distorted, and that's exactly what this world feels like. Something that was once beautiful, now twisted into despair. I have to hand it to the design team of this game, because the OST, the hums of static and sound effects and whispers, it really just speaks to the architecture of the game.
Yeah, it does look
A remake was released for the PlayStation 2 and Wii in 2007, bringing the game to Western audiences for the first time, with it remaining just as strange. Released in 1999 for the PlayStation by Spike, Yuyamidori Tankentai is one of the most
This looks like a very fun game.
atmospheric and overlooked Japanese horror games of its time. It takes place in a small Japanese town during the 1990s. The streets are quiet, the air is heavy with summer, and the sound of cicadas never stops.
Okay.
You play as 3 middle school students, Nao, Sho, and Mika, who form a club to
What is this background music?
explore the strange rumors spreading through their neighborhood.
Yeah, like those clubs, they were like so, how do I put it, productive. Used to be in some clubs too, and just got on it for just for a because I was forced to. I had absolutely zero interest in those kind of things.
Every evening, the sun starts to set. The group meets to investigate something new: a haunted payphone, a missing classmate, a
Okay,
reflection that moves on its own. Some stories end with a ghost, others with nothing at all. But each one leaves a mark, a feeling that
my bad. I'm feeling a bit sleepy today.
something in this
I should drink some tea
town
after this.
isn't quite right. The game unfolds over a single week. You wander through the town at dusk, talking to classmates, teachers, and strangers. Everyone seems to know something, but no one tells you the whole story. There's no combat or no puzzles to solve, it's just
Okay.
exploration, conversation, and it's up to you to piece it together yourself. The game really does a great job of capturing that childhood curiosity, exploring your hometown with your friends, chasing some monster that may be there or may not be. The three characters see the world very differently. Nao looks for logic, Mika believes every rumor, and Sho tries to pretend that none of it matters. By switching between them, you start to see how fragile their understanding of the world really is.
Really?
The supernatural feels less like something outside the town and more like something inside the people who live there. I knew I had to add this one to the list when I just saw how it looked. The warm, fading light of the backgrounds, the stillness of the streets,
Yeah, that's what I was saying too. This looks so great.
the sound of wind passing through empty alleyways. There's just something about it that hits that spot, you know? I must have played a dozen games on the PlayStation as a kid.
Yeah, no,
I just wish
no. This actually looks beautiful. Just look at this game. This looks so
that
beautiful.
this was one of them. Released in 2008 for the Nintendo DS, Nanashi no Game, or The Nameless Game, tells a story of a cursed video game that kills anyone who plays it after 7 days.
Oh,
It was developed by Epix and published by Square Enix during a time when J-horror was obsessed with that Ghost in the Machine type horror. Think Pulse in 2001 or 2002, or Shudder in the same year, 2008. And of course, I couldn't not mention The Ring. In Nanashi no Game, you play as a university
yes, the ring.
student who receives a mysterious cartridge from a friend. Inside is a simple 8-bit RPG that looks like an old Famicom game. At first it
Okay.
seems harmless, but soon the sprites start to distort, NPCs speak in broken text, and the game begins to mention your name, and then your friend dies.
Imagine if something like that actually happened in real life. I would chuck this thing across the earth.
From that point, the curse begins counting down, and you only have 7 days. The story alternates between two perspectives. On the bottom screen, the cursed 8-bit game. On the top screen, the real world. A first-person exploration view where you move around abandoned buildings, university corridors, and apartments, searching for the source of the curse. As the days pass, the two realities start to merge. The pixels of the RPG begin appearing in the real world. I gotta say, this is a
Oh.
really unique horror game, and there's something special about Nintendo DS horror games, and that they were able to do something so unique with the technology that they had. The cursed game was written by a developer who died and left himself behind inside the code. Every person who plays it becomes part of his unfinished creation. The game
Unfinished,
never
it's
released outside
unfinished?
Japan, but became a cult legend through fan translations and emulator playthroughs. Now for Tier 4. These are some
Okay, Tier
horrifying
4.
banned games that are totally disturbing. So if you aren't
Did you say band? Okay, I'm interested.
comfortable with NSFW themes, I recommend
I am very comfortable.
you skip to Tier 5. With
Tier 5? We are still at
that
tier
said,
4.
let's get into it.
Okay.
Released in 2006 by the Japanese game studio Illusion, Lei is one of the most infamous games ever made.
Oh, 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 ah. I think I understand now why he asked us to skip that.
Illusion was a developer known for creating 3D adult simulation games for a small domestic audience in Japan. Their titles were meant for private sale through adult retailers, but Lei would be the one that broke containment. I can't go too deep into it, so if you want to uncover what the game was
Uh, I, I, I think I can guess.
about, I warn you that it's really disturbing.
I see why it is disturbing.
I didn't search it myself, so I don't know if you can even find anything about it, but TLDR, you control a stalker who targets a mother and her 2 underage daughters.
What the fuck? No, 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 no. You know, there is one game I will never play, and that is probably this one. That is so bad. Oh my goodness.
With that information, it's up to you to decide if you want to research about it.
Yeah, no, no. I'm skip on that. I'm gonna skip on that. Or should I maybe? I think I can guess where it is going. I think you and I both can guess where it is going. We should just. I don't think we should do it.
The title begins with R and it's a 4-letter word.
Don't search it up. He made it pretty clear.
Which I obviously can't say on YouTube. The game was discovered by Western players around 2008, spreading across forums and file sharing sites. What followed was a global scandal. Newspapers, politicians, and broadcasters
It should be banned. I personally think it should be banned.
condemned the game for its content, and within weeks, it was completely removed from sale in Japan and banned internationally.
Yeah, obviously, it should have been.
It was discussed
It should have been never released to begin with in the first place.
in UK Parliament, banned in Australia, New Zealand, and much of Europe, even being taken down from Amazon Japan after
What about in Asia? The rest of
being
Asia?
briefly listed. Illusion issued a public statement clarifying that the game had never been intended for release outside Japan.
No, that is not about Japan. Like, why would he even create something like that where we are playing the role of that thing?
Which doesn't make its contents any better, but
Exactly what I was saying. That is disturbing. Like, it's not even disturbing in like a horror way, like a game way. It is just like disturbing in the island way. I don't know how else to put it.
the backlash changed every. That statement's such a nothing burger. Sorry. The backlash changed everything. Illusion's later projects became more stylized and deliberately avoiding real-world scenarios.
No, you could use real world scenarios, but I don't think you should give the player that choice about what you have to, like, literally go and do something like that. That's the thing.
The controversy also reignited debates about censorship, freedom of expression,
No, it's not about that. It's like you can't go and stalk somebody and then say that is our freedom of expression. Obviously, it's not. Like, how do I put it? Similar to how even accessing certain kinds of data on your phone or computer or any other devices, it's illegal in quite a lot of the states. I think it's like that.
and the boundaries of simulation and media. Even now, the game remains a taboo subject, with it often being cited in academic research about moral panic, media ethics, and how niche creations can spiral out of control once exposed to the global stage.
I think it should have had been banned to begin with, even when before it went global. And I at least hope that all of you agree with that.
Illusion shut down in 2023, but the shadow of that game still lingers. Released in
Unfortunately so.
1995 by a one-man studio called Happysoft, Hong Kong 97 is a game that feels like a joke went too far. It was
A joke
developed by
on
Ko
okay.
Kata, a Japanese journalist and counterculture writer, and distributed on unlicensed Famicom cartridges and floppy disks. So it wasn't
Okay.
even like a real game. Kata claimed it was meant as satire, a
Is that Bruce Lee?
low-effort protest game mocking the media and politics surrounding Hong Kong's 1997 handover to China. But what he created became something else entirely.
That is Bruce Lee. Where's my guy laughing?
You play as a supposed...
Why is he blue?
Sorry, I'm reading this. You play as a supposed relative of Bruce Lee on a mission to
Um, I'm sorry. I think I understand why he was laughing now.
kill as many Chinese Red Army as possible.
Oh my goodness.
The disturbing part is what happens when you die. The screen cuts to the words, "Game over," and behind it is a photo. Not pixel art, not a drawing, but a real photo. The
Oh,
image comes from a Bosnian War genocide documentary broadcast in Japan in the early 90s.
never mind. It ain't funny.
A real image of violence, used here in a parody game as a punchline. This single frame turned Hong Kong 97 from a bad satire into one of the most infamous pieces of lost media ever made. The developer later admitted that it was thrown together in 2 days, meant to mock both Japan's gaming industry and the politics of the 1990s. Released in 2000 for PC by ActiveSoft, Bible Black is one of the most infamous adult visual novels ever made. Set in a Japanese high school, the story begins
Of course, a high school. Every type of shit goes on in the Japanese high school. Aliens come over in Japanese high schools. Ghosts come over in Japanese high schools. Zombies come over in Japanese high school. Cursed spirits come over in Japanese high schools. Dolls start attacking in Japanese high school. Like, I swear to God, half of the anime plots out there, they start with Japanese high school, something happening in Japanese high school. I guess it kind of makes sense too, because since most of their audience is young and they want to give their audience something relatable.
when a student discovers an old book of magic hidden in the basement.
Yeah, and they decide to do it.
The book promises power, control, and desire.
Okay.
If you're willing to cross into the occult.
Okay.
But in this game,
I know why you're playing this game.
that line was meant to be crossed.
Wait, what did the text
To
say?
cross into the occult.
No,
But in this
what?
game,
Alright then. I am going to read it to you now. Keep your eyes peeled, pervert boy. Okay,
that line was meant
I'm not going to comment.
to be crossed. Every route is about corruption. You make choices that pull characters deeper into temptation and ritual. Watching
No.
them change as the book takes control. While it was made for Japan's adult market, Bible Black spread far beyond its original audience. Its animated adaptation leaked online in the early 2000s and became one of the first adult
That's not a school student, by the way.
titles to go viral internationally. It was shared across forums and file sites, stripped out of context, and treated like forbidden media. That
It for sure looks like that.
exposure turned it into something larger than itself. Since the game features sort of a horror aspect, it became part internet legend. For years, it's been grouped alongside other banned games, like the one previously on the list, but it's really just a bit of a visual novel that made its way into the wrong audience.
Okay. I guess it makes sense as long as there were not actually any explicit things, but only like, how do I put it? Indications that something like that had happened there. Because, say, horror games at the end of the day are not supposed to be clean. It is supposed to be taboo. It is supposed to show us the dark nature or the dark side of things. That is just how horror games are. We are supposed to feel uncomfortable playing horror games. But like then again, there was a degree to it.
Imagine you were in a car accident. You suffer severe brain trauma, and after emergency surgery, something goes horribly, horribly wrong.
Doctor Strange in an alternate universe.
And your perception of reality twists. That's
Okay.
the setup for Seiya no Uta. Released in 2003 by Natural Plus, Seiya no Uta, or The Song of Seiya, is one of the most infamous psychological horror visual novels ever made.
Infamous. Okay.
It was written by Jan Orobuchi, long before his work on Fate Zero or Psychopaths, and it remains his most disturbing story ever.
Really?
After your accident and emergency surgery, you, Fuminori, a medical student, now sit in the hospital. Its walls seem to breathe, the doctors and nurses look like pulsating flesh, and the world becomes a rotting, organic nightmare. Every sound he hears is warped, every face unrecognizable, except for one, a girl named Seiya. To Fuminori, she looks completely human. The only
That means she is the monster or something like that.
person left in a world full of monsters. But to everyone else, she's something else too. The story
Exactly, I'm telling you, because everything good turned bad, so everything bad turned.
follows their relationship as Fuminori shuts himself off from reality and the people trying to save him. What begins as a desperate attempt to stay sane slowly becomes an obsession. The further he falls, the less it's clear who the monster really is.
Exactly what I was saying.
The game never tells you what's real, it only shows you how perception can turn love into something horrifying. It asks what it means to love something no one else can understand, and whether sanity is worth keeping if it means living without love. The game's haunting soundtrack, claustrophobic writing, and decaying visual design keep you truly on edge.
It looks, once again, I think it is one of the best looking games I've seen in this list.
And it's for all the above that made it into the cult classic that it is. A short but unforgettable descent into a world of decaying flesh. Released in 2011 by Clock Up, Euphoria is one of the most notorious Japanese visual novels ever made. I actually have a totally messed up story. I accidentally clicked on this on accident when I was like 14, and even just hearing
Oh my goodness. Ain't no way, motherfucker. I remember this. I know this.
these visual novels
This.
ever made.
I know this. I've seen this. I know all these characters. I was like, same, just like this guy was saying. I also like clicked on this. I did not know. I had no idea what on earth I was getting myself into. It is very disturbing from the very beginning. That's all I'm going to say. It is very disturbing from the very beginning. And like, do not ever look this up.
I actually have a totally messed up story.
It does. Like, you will probably get in some kind of list if you watch this. Me personally, I'll also probably have some kind of list because I watched this. I think I watched only like one episode of it. Like, yeah, and that too I regretted it. And after that, I did not see these kind of videos for a long time. Like maybe I had stopped watching these videos for like the next entire year or something like that because I was just so disturbed by this.
I accidentally clicked on this on accident when I was like 14.
Exactly. This is like, you know how traumatized I am when I still remember this, and I saw it like years ago. I was schooling back then. That is how long before it is, and it is like, how do I put it, engraved in my mind. This is like one of the most disturbing things I ever had the misfortune of watching.
And even just hearing the name gives me this like PTSD.
Exactly, I am having the exact same feeling.
If you don't know what this is, I'm
It is best you don't. It is best you don't.
gonna explain it, but don't search it.
Do not search it. Like, seriously, I am requesting. Like, this is a request, like a literal request. Do not search it.
It's pretty messed up. TLDR, it presents itself as like an adult game, but it comes closer to like a psychological experiment. The story begins when
This is bad. This is just bad. Like, just the very first episode is dangerously messed up. Like, I think there, all I'm going to say, a corpse is involved. That's all I'm saying. That is how bad it is.
6 students wake up in a locked underground facility. There's no windows and no exits, and the students have no memory of how they got there. A voice on the intercom tells them that there's only one rule: complete the games, and they'll be set free. Like some kind of super fucked up Squid Game.
Yeah, I think that is worse than Squid Game. Like, way worse.
The first task starts, and within minutes, it's clear the rules are designed to break them. You play as Keisuke, the only male among the group.
You can guess where this is going.
You're forced into situations that test obedience, guilt,
I don't even know why I saw this even on accident. Like, it shouldn't have been on the internet to begin with. And I was not in like some really sketchy website or something like that. I was in a rather popular website.
and power. At first, it feels like sadism for its own sake, but
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the entire plot because I just stopped after one episode. I was so disturbed by that. I still like, how do I put it? I don't even know why I watched it. I guess I was hoping that some kind of conclusion or something would come out of it, but it did not, and it just, I like understood that. Yeah, it's not getting better after watching the first episode. I was like, nah, fuck that shit. I ain't watching that. But this is like, end up in hell if I watch that.
As the story unfolds, the tone shifts. You begin to see patterns, the way the voice knows too much, the way every test seems tailored to expose each person's past. What starts as exploitation becomes a bit of a study of control. The deeper you go, the more the walls close in, the more the characters unravel, revealing that none of them were innocent when they arrived here. By the end, Euphoria stops being about what's happening in the room and starts being about what people do when they're told they have no choice. Like I said, it's a bit of a fucked up version of Squid Game. Its themes of
That is a very fucked up version of Squid Game, just not a little.
morality, obedience, and the collapse of empathy made it infamous in its time. It truly might be one of the most horrifying things on this list, and I really don't recommend that anyone play it. And when I said I clicked on it earlier,
Played? I never even played it. I saw a video of it. I don't even know what. Just don't.
I just realized there's a show as well as
He did so good. He did not actually like put the name there, and he just named it as my PTSD. Good job. I'm proud of you.
the game. I'm pretty sure there's a show. So the show is what I
Exactly. I also clicked on the show. I did not know this was a fucking game, and the original thing was a game.
clicked on, and I didn't know it was a game until now.
Same thing. Bro, are we the same person? Maybe we are secretly the same person. Maybe this is my alt channel.
All in all though, Euphoria asks you one question, and it asks it very well. If someone
Okay.
told you freedom required destroying everything human in yourself,
Fuck no. No. I think if I found myself in that situation, I would like off myself. That would be my first thing. That would be the first thing I'd do.
would you still want to be free?
Hell no. Hell no. Like just end me at that point.
Welcome to Tier 5. Here we're
I'm generally scared of what on earth he's going to show in tier 5 because like tier 4, the last one, that is messed up. If you know, you know.
going to look at some serious real-life cases, so let's just jump straight into it. The developer kidnapping case of the 1980s to 1990s isn't about a
Whoa.
game directly, but more so of the industry at the time.
Okay.
So let's just take a look at what was going on during the Yakuza arcade operations. In the late
Yakuza.
1980s, Japan's arcade industry was booming. Money was moving fast, and so was organized crime. The Yakuza had their hands in arcade businesses, cabinet distribution, and even developer contracts. They supplied machines, took a cuts of revenue, and made sure that rival companies stayed out of certain regions. An anonymous developer calling himself Hideo Nanashi claimed in an interview for the Untold History of Japanese Game Developers that he'd been working on a deal with Nintendo when a rival company stepped in.
Okay.
According to him, the company had Yakuza connections, and when he refused to drop his project, they targeted his family.
Oh, that's
He
messed
said
up.
his younger sister was kidnapped to pressure him into abandoning the contract.
Okay, that is.
She was released days later unharmed, but the message was clear: stop working with Nintendo. Nanashi said he confronted the rival company in person and smashed one of their arcade cabinets outside their office.
What the fuck are you doing, bro? I know you are angry, but like,
Before leaving the industry for good. No names were given, and no police report was ever found. The story first appeared on Japanese message boards, and later resurfaced in the Time Extension's coverage of industry myths. Journalists who looked into it confirmed one thing: while the kidnapping itself can't be verified, Yakuza influence on the arcade scene absolutely was real. Arcade owners often paid protection money, distributors controlled territory thanks to gangs, and when money and contracts crossed the line, violence sometimes followed. So whether the
Okay.
kidnapping happened or not, the story matches the world it came from.
I think it would. It definitely could be real.
A time when making games in Japan could put you in a bit of a dangerous position if you crossed the wrong people. In 1996, Pokemon Red and Green were released in
Pokemon? I don't think. Am I watching the same video?
Japan for the Game Boy.
Oh, it's just going to show Lavender Town. Okay. I think I know about this one.
Partway through the game, players reached a small area called Lavender Town. The music there was different from every other track in the game. High-pitched, slow, and unnerving. Years later, an online story began to spread that this song had been responsible for a wave of strange reactions in Japanese children after the game's launch. According to the rumor, the original version of Lavender Town theme contained hidden frequencies that caused dizziness, headaches, or worse. The legend claimed over 100
Okay.
children became ill after hearing it, forcing Nintendo to change the music in later versions. The story
Really?
included fake newspaper clippings, altered screenshots, and supposed audio spectrograms showing ghostly faces inside the waveform. It sounded convincing because the track really is eerie. People always remembered Lavender Town as unsettling, and
Yep.
the idea that it was dangerous made complete sense. Obviously,
Hmm.
this isn't true at all. The myth appears to have started around 2010, long after the game's release, through creepypasta forums and 4chan threads. But it ties into what I was saying earlier about my love for rumors. The fact that the music was already creepy, and it might be dangerous, just added more horror to Lavender Town, and I really like that. If you made it this far, you should definitely subscribe, because I'm going to be posting way more videos like this about Japan, as well as other places in Asia.
Okay.
The channel's goal is 20 million subscribers, so any help towards that is appreciated.
Don't
Once-
worry, I'm subscribed.
Once again, don't forget about the members. I just unlocked it, so anyone who wants to help out and support the channel, I appreciate that. So yeah, thanks for watching.
Thank you for giving us such an awesome video to watch. Okay, anyway, that's it for today. Also, if you guys have anything else that you would like me to react to, please let me know in the comments down below. Have a great day ahead.